Welcome back to Let's Play Neverwinter Nights 2 Original Campaign. This is Big Los, and we are at Crossroad Keep, and we are going to go towards the Shadow Reaver camp. Unfortunately, we have to bring either Ammon Jerro or Zhjaeve, so when you press OK, it automatically assumes that you're going to bring Ammon Jerro. Why not Zhjaeve? Oh well. Let's get Eleni, Cora, and Kelgar to go with us. And let's summon Reptar, because for some reason it got unsummoned. And then we will put Awaken on him. And unfortunately this video is going real slow again, so I'm going to have to do a lot of hard cuts and restarting the video, because that seems to be the only solution. And I'm just experimenting to see if maybe any of these buffs that I'm putting on will follow. So let's go over there. And here we are, but it looks like the only thing that followed was Awaken. And there's that Shadow Reaver.
Do you remember me? I am the one who tasted the lifeblood of several of those in Castle Never, whom you swore to protect. You should have learned then that I cannot be destroyed. Yield now, and I shall make your end quick. Defy me, and you shall die for days.
Hey, you know, you got something wrong with your face. You're gonna need, like, skin grafts.
You think that will make a difference? The ritual burned clean all of my ties to pathetic mortality.
It also burned clean your face right off.
In Castle Never, you had the advantages of surprise and greater numbers. Here, those advantages are mine.
It will take me some time to recite the name. Shield me until the recitation is complete, or the battle is theirs.
Okay, this is why you need to have either Ammon Jerro or Zhjaeve in your party. And so one of them can start casting this True Name Scroll on the Shadow Reaver, and the rest of the party can take care of these Raider Shadows and Blade Golems. Where the hell did they get more Blade Golems? Oh yeah, weren't they like making some army of Golems or something? Alright, so let's use some
looks like we have company.
Undead specific spells.
Of course.
We'll tell Reptar to attack.
Let us press the attack.
I have my eye on our enemy.
And why don't we use one of these Rituals of Purification, the Cleansing Nova. Let's see if that works a little bit. It damages him a little bit. Now, if Ammon doesn't finish doing the True Name Scroll, and you get Shadow Reaver to half of his hit points, he'll just regenerate his hit points all over again. And there will be no way to beat him. So better make sure Ammon doesn't die, or you're never going to kill this guy. Yeah, he's still doing it. It takes a while. I don't know if it takes like a full minute or what, but we gotta keep all these other enemies off his back. Okay, did he finish? I guess he did, because he's dead. Alright. I guess we just gotta take care of these shadows now. Looks like the only person who took damage was Kelgar. Alright. Well, I think that about does it for enemies. So let's loot this body. And we'll get this shard.
Another shard. Good. Hopefully it is the last one we need. We should take it to the Gith in Crossroad Keep. She will know if it is enough for the task ahead.
That sounds like a good idea, actually. So this shard gives you immunity to death magic. So that's pretty important. If you had any items giving you immunity, you will no longer need them. And when you first got here, you got 500 XP for avoiding their ambush, I suppose, by talking to Gaivan of the Road. Now, apparently, if you come here without doing that, then it'll be the same scene. I don't know. There won't be an ambush. You just won't get the XP for that. So let's go back to Crossroad Keep. And we will talk to Zhjaeve. Alright, here we are. Now, it's getting a little choppy, so I might have to make a quick hard cut. Okay. Now we'll talk to this little guy and he'll send us inside the keep. Now the reason I was here earlier is because I needed to sell a bunch of the stuff that I collected.
You have returned. Did the Reaver answer to its name?
It worked well enough, and we recovered a shard from it as well.
May I see it? Ah. Know that other pieces of the blade are missing. But I think with this shard, we now have enough.
Enough to remake the blade? And how do you know that?
I simply know. But the pieces are not enough. I still do not understand how the sword was broken in the first place. Was it the power of the avatar of the King of Shadows? I was not there when it shattered, so I do not know.
So what are you saying? Someone here was?
It is not a traditional weapon, and I doubt fire can shape it.
Know that the Blade of Gith cannot be forged with heat. It is something more than that. And something greater must unite the shards and make them whole. I had thought Ammon Jerro would know more. You held it when it was unmade, did you not?
I was too busy being detained on the lower planes after the battle with the Avatar, and have had little time since then to discover how the blade was broken. But there is one who has had much time to consider it, and knows something of the King of Shadows.
All of a sudden.
The King of Shadows has had many enemies. In the distant past, he fought an ancient dragon by the name of Nolaloth, and their battle spanned the plain. Nolaloth was defeated, unfortunately.
Yeah, I heard. Back in Orvon.
He was struck down, but his spirit was chained to this realm by the Ilfarn Empire until they could find a way to heal him. He was their mercenary, you see. But neither he nor the Ilfarn were able to give the other what they needed. Nolaloth was defeated, and so were the Ilfarn.
Yeah, I got that much. Just by talking to all those ghosts.
Nolaloth held little else of value concerning the King of Shadows. Or so I thought until the Gith sought to enlighten us about this last shard.
Suspicion is something that you know well, Ammon. Know that I, too, have suspicions concerning sudden revelations, such as this dragon you have suddenly cast light upon.
Yeah, she does kind of have a point.
At some point, you will all need to trust my reasons if we are to get through this.
It is not a question of trust, I think.
In any event, this information may prove useless. The last time Nolaloth and I spoke, we did not part on friendly terms. He has little reason to help us, or me. I inquired after information to defeat the King of Shadows, and Nolaloth wished more than I could give at the time.
If this Nolaloth knows how the blade was broken, then that is knowledge we must have.
Yeah. That sounds like a good idea.
I can give you Nolaloth's location, but it's not an easy journey. In the past, Nolaloth had many guardians, red dragons, all of whom infest the area where he is chained. He is something of a legend in their eyes, and they make the pilgrimage to bask in his presence, and perhaps to steal secrets of the ancient Ilfarn ruins where he resides. I will mark its location on your map, and I am sure at least your Gith follower will wish to accompany you.
So, I take it that you won't want to. Okay. That's fine. Well, we have our next destination. Unfortunately, our conversation choices lost 1 point of influence with Zhjaeve, but got us 1 point with Ammon Jerro. Okay, now, before we head out to the Nolaloth Valley, let's go back to the front over here so we can switch out party members. But first, let's talk to Penton, because he threatened to leave last time. Just tell him that we found a new ore deposit. Alright, so he gives us some gold. 250 to be specific. Okay, I guess we can't tell her that there's some ore that we discovered, so next time we come back here, we'll tell her. So let's go and switch out Ammon Jerro for sand. And the reason for that is because we got a new wizard's tower, so let's see if there's some spells that he could scribe into a spell book. So yeah, let's go back to the courtyard. And the tower is over here by where Cernaval and Bevel are. Alright, and here's the wizard himself. His name is Startear. He kind of looks freaky a little bit. Well, you're welcome for building this tower for you. Is that kryptonite on a chain like in the first original Superman movie? So, like this guy said before, he's from the city of Sigil, which is ruled by the Lady of Pain. I read about Sigil back in the Manual of the Planes for original 3.0. It was one of the most entertaining books I've ever read. Now, if we go in here with sand, and you zoom out, there is a scroll of the spell called Weird. It's a level 9 spell. It's like Phantasmal Killer, except it affects a whole group of enemies, not just one. They have to make 2 saving throws. First, they have to fail a will save, and then if they fail that save, then they have to fail a fortitude save and die. Otherwise, they take a bunch of damage. Alright, now,
I believe
can
so.
we move out of here? No, because we got a big dinosaur blocking our way. No, it's not going to let us out, is it? Alright, I guess we're going to have to go deeper into the room. Okay, that should clear a way for us now. Now, there's a guy over here who sells stuff, but first, there's another scroll here. It's a scroll of Meteor Swarm. I probably shouldn't have learned that when I leveled up sand, but well, too late. So sand has that spell already, so I'll just give that one to Cora, since she does not. And we got this book. It's the lore of the Master Alchemist. We already... No, we don't have this book yet. Oh, we might. It has perfected items. Perfected Alchemist Fire, perfected Tanglefoot Bags, etc., etc. And if you talk to this guy actually sells stuff. And I'm going to want to bring sand up here. But first, let's sell some of these other things, like this Wicked Union that we got from the Shadow Reaver. Those braces of armor plus 4, we're no longer going to need those. I'm going to give that to Zhjaeve, that Hammer of the God scroll. She's the only one who can use it.
I think it is time everyone marched behind me, your new glorious leader.
Oh, and that spell is actually called Gedlees. I had to actually squint to look at it to see how it was spelled. I think I pronounced it Jadels earlier because...
Really?
I mean, the font is real small. It's kind of hard to see. So I got this gray rope of the Archmagi from Axel, or from one of his goons, and I gave it to Sand. Now they also have this white robe of the Archmagi. It's similar, except it has more spell resistance. But you can only use it if you're good. Sand is neutral, so he has to use the gray. But it doesn't matter because I just bought him a cloak of spell resistance that gives him spell resistance 20, which supersedes the spell resistance of that robe. And now we're gonna buy some scrolls that he doesn't have, like that black staff. And the reason I gave him Gedley's electric loop is because he didn't have it before, but the captain had 2 of those scrolls. Okay, he didn't have displacement either. And greater spell mantle, that gives a very high spell resistance. He didn't have that, so we scribed that one. Now, we gave Eleni Gust a win earlier, but her AI made her use that scroll in the last episode. So now we're just gonna have to buy it. It's only 88 gold. It's okay. We got like 725,000 gold pieces right now. Let's see. Protection from spells. I know we don't have that one, so it's a level 8 spell. Let's buy it. Let's scribe it. And resist elements is exactly the same as resist energy, but it has a different name for some reason. If you buy it and try to scribe it, it'll say you already have it. And True Strike, I'm just getting it just to complete his spellbook as best we can. And they sell a bunch of crafting components in here, but I'm not going to buy them right now because we got a whole bunch of them already. Now, if I break down and decide to craft a whole bunch of stuff later and run out, then I might come back and buy the stuff. But we're not going to do it right now. I think we are pretty well stocked with the items that we have right now. Yeah, I guess you could use that wand of fire.
What do you want?
So that's pretty much it for this tower. Oh, by the way, there is a door over here that's locked, and I don't know how to get up here. I'm thinking they just use the same map. If you had built it as a guard tower, then that leads to another area. But since I've never built it as a guard tower, I couldn't tell you. So let's make our way back to the keep. And I'm making sure that I have the Neverwinter ceremonial sword equipped. And then we'll go up here and we'll go back inside the keep. Hopefully one final time. With that sword equipped, that is. Alright. Now let's go over here and see if Kana has anything to say.
The war gets closer to home every day. Some local lords are conscripting farmers to serve in the war.
That is exactly the reason why the Grey Cloaks were formed. Reliance on an untrained militia was part of the reason the Luskins overwhelmed us with ease.
The King of Shadows has amassed a great army. I think the lords believe that they need every available hand to counter this threat. The Grey Cloaks and Knights may not be enough alone.
Untrained farmers are generally used as shock troops. Casualties are high, and their effectiveness debatable.
Do you wish to conscript troops from the farmers?
You know what? I don't.
I hope we won't need these men later. War is a brutal beast, not to be faced by the faint of heart.
Some tactics can cost you as much in victory as in defeat, though, Kana.
Why don't you want to conscript men?
Because they won't be any help.
I'm a soldier. Winning battles is what I look for. I see why I am not a general. It will be as you command.
And that gets us 3 points towards the good for answering like that. Alright, yeah, we don't need them. Got enough Grey Cloaks. Our unit strength is very high. So let's make our way down to the basement. Now, before we go talk to Mephasm, you notice that there is now a new lizard folk here. And we could talk to this construct now that we have Sand in our party. Let's move Sand over here so he's not blocked by Reptar. And then we'll try to do that craft alchemy, even though it's going to fail.
You know, I wasn't going to say anything, but I did notice Grobnar, surprisingly enough, wasn't terribly careful about some of the glowstone inscription. As reluctant as I am to do anything to this huge hulking murder golem, my conscience nevertheless compels me to offer my services, in case leaving it be might cause more trouble.
You're right. Why don't you have a look?
Very well. Stand back. Well back in case I trigger something we can't stop, and get ready to run.
Alright. And he did it. I think that improves its constitution. Unfortunately, we can't get anybody else to do these other crafting. Now, when I played this before, I actually had a lot of ranks in craft weapon and craft armor, so I was able to get it up pretty high. Okay, so we're gonna bargain with Mephasm, and we will be able to improve one stat. Now, we have...
Do you intend to summon Mephasm again?
I do. We have 3 stats that are boosted up pretty high. And I don't think that the item that he gives us will be able to surpass that. So we're going to boost up another skill or ability, I should say, that we need to rely on. So what's going to be? And this is that blind exchange that I was talking about earlier. So 1 strength and 6 is charisma, so we're going to do 6 for charisma, and then he's going to take the Neverwinter ceremonial sword. And now we might as well use the rest of these focuses to get more items. Now, the reason I wanted my charisma increased is for my use magic device ability. That way I'll be able to have success when I try to cast scrolls and stuff. And we got some feats here, some history feats. We got Dragon Slayer, Explorer. But what we just got now was Infernal Bargaining for having successfully dealt with him. You get some of these other history feats for having a really good showing in the trial, for getting accepted to the Neverwinter 9, for killing all the orcs, for getting accepted to the Shadow Thieves, etc., etc., etc. Oh, and we got 1 more point of influence with Ammon Jerro for successfully bargaining with Mephasm. And we didn't lose a key item that we're going to need later in the game. So it was good to do it now before we go to the Nolaloth Valley. Now, we got the boots, the shifting sands, and we got that club, the Angry Soul. It wasn't the other thing that I described earlier. It's actually kind of useful, but it's more for wizard. And this infernal token that you get, it improves your base skill by 3 points. So if you have something that's improving it more than that, then it won't do anything.
I concur.
And those boots, the shifting sand, they can cast Earthquake. Oh, and I also gave Kelgar the Cloak of Displacement. So we're going to give Sand that one, and then we're going to, I guess, dual wield him with the Wizard's ally, so we can give him a couple more spells to work with. Even though it does drop his attack bonus. We don't really use him very much anyway for anything. So what are we going to pick here? I guess that one, and then Scintillating Spear, that's another one that I had scribed. Alright, so will we be able to survive going through the Nolaloth Valley? Find out next time. This is Big Los signing off.
What do you want?
Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. And, as always, Tengo un buen día.